So you want to mine some Bitcoin. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to set up a BitAxe like this to your own node. And if you've been following along, you're already running your own Start9 node. So let's get into the tutorial. So we need to download Datam, which is in the marketplace and in the community registry. So we change from the Start9 registry to the community registry, and we look up Datam. Datam Gateway, we're going to install this. This isn't the easiest thing to do, I will say. There is a little bit of copying and pasting of code, the SSH into your command line. It's a little bit complicated. I think these kind of things will get easier and easier, and there is a new Start9 update coming out, which I think will also help with this as well. So most of what we need to know is actually in the instructions here. So you click instructions on Datam Gateway. This is going to explain everything that you need to know. You do have to set up simple proxy. This is what I'm talking about that requires a little bit of code. If you do not want to do this, you need to wait until the new upgrade of Start OS. So if we scroll all the way to the bottom, we need to install and run simple proxy. So we can SSH into the Start9, which is the first thing we need to do. And the docs are available here on how to SSH, which is the secure shell protocol to go under the hood of our Start9. So we need to create an SSH key. So we open a terminal and enter the following. So the first thing we need to do is open up Windows PowerShell. You can just look that up on here, or you can use command prompt as well. So we're just going to copy each one of these lines into this right here. So SSH keygen, we're just going to paste that in. Generating public private key pair, enter file in which to save the key. So it's going to save it into users for SSH, and we just press enter. We're just going to overwrite this if it already exists. If not, it will just already do this. We're just going to put Y as in yes. Enter a passphrase or no passphrase if we don't want a passphrase. So now we've generated the public key. And if we go into users and we go to that document file, so in this file here, we're going to actually open up this file with, we'll just do Notepad because that's something everybody has. When we do that, we're left with this. We go into system on our Start9 and go to SSH, add new key, and we're going to paste that into there. There we go. Now we have an SSH key. So we need to know the IP address of our Start9. So we can use a program called Angry IP Scanner, which I will put in the description, and you basically install it and you'll press start and it's going to scan and find the IP address of your Start9. So you'll probably know it by the host name. It'll say start or something in there, and this is mine here. So we're going to copy that IP address. Just going to close PowerShell and open it up again. Now let's go SSH Start9, and we're going to paste in the IP address that we found using Angry IP Scanner. There we go. Now we're in to our Start9, and now we can start adding some code. So let's go back into our services. Let's go to Datam Gateway, instructions, all the way to the bottom. And now let's just start pasting these lines of code one by one. So let's copy this. PowerShell wasn't allowing me to paste for some reason, so I'm going to use command prompt instead. So if you have that problem, you just need to right click on the top here, go to properties, and click on this edit option here, and this should work now, hopefully. There we go. Okay, so I just right click and it pastes that in. We're gonna get this next one here, copy. Press enter. So then we copy and paste this entire thing right here. There we go. Press enter. Next, copy and paste the following. Paste. And then finally, exit. There we go. Your system will reboot now. So if we go back to the Start9, we should be rebooting. Okay, so now it's rebooting, and we'll just let it do its thing and move on to the next step. So there's a couple things we need to do now. We go into our Datam Gateway, go to configure, and go to miner settings. We need to add in a Bitcoin address. I have this one here. I'm just going to paste in. Now this is where we get to change the settings if we want to do pool mining or solo mining. So if we go down to the bottom to Datam again, and we open this up, we can get rid of pool host if we want to mine solo. So let's do that. And then here at the bottom, we're going to do never, non-pooled only. And then we can press start. So one thing we need to do here is we need to auto-config Bitcoin knots before we start Datam. So we press the auto-config, press save, and press start, and press start on knots, and it's just going to reset, and then we go back to Datam. So knots is all running, it's all good. Let's press start now on Datam. All right, so all these health checks are done. If this doesn't happen, you might just have to go into the settings, the config again, and just reset defaults, change it back, save it. I had to do that once, and now it works just fine. So let's launch the UI, and this is our Datam gateway. Okay, so now let's get our BitAxe fired up. This is my BitAxe here, and we're just going to plug in the power to this little port here on the side, and that immediately begins to power everything up. You see the fans running, and now we see some information on the display. And let's get this connected so that we can set it up to our Wi-Fi and get it connected to our Datam gateway and everything else we need to do. So once the BitAxe is plugged in, it's actually emitting its own Wi-Fi signal, and we're going to use our phones to connect to that signal. So we go into our internet, and there will be an internet address that starts with a BitAxe name. So let's connect to BitAxe. And when we do, it wants us to sign into the network, and it will automatically open up the BitAxe information here. So then we need to change this information to our actual Wi-Fi that we use at home and type in the actual Wi-Fi password as well, which I will do now. And then let's press save and restart. So on the BitAxe, we're actually going to be able to see the IP address and some additional information like how many gigahash per second this is operating at, the temperatures, the best temperatures, and how much electricity it's using. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to type in the IP address onto our computer here. So this is the amount of terahash, the efficiency, joules per terahash, and how much power consumption it is taking, which is 16.5 watts. So let's go into pool settings here, and we're going to change some of the information here so that we're connected to the right Bitcoin address and we're solo mining and all of that good stuff. So to do that, let's go back into our Start9. So we go to Datam. We're going to select the .local for our Start9 or the IP address of the Start9 itself. Just like we did before, we're going to use the IP address that we found for our Start9, and we're also going to put in this default here for the port. So let's copy that and put it back in here. So we're going to paste that into here. And then we're going to grab this information here and paste it in here. So again, we're going to change out this Bitcoin address to the one that we also put into our Datam information. So go find that. And I have it right here. And I'm going to paste. This is the fallback in case something goes wrong with our own node. And it's going to mine with this solo pool here, fallback stratum port. And the fallback stratum user replaced with your Bitcoin address. So let's put in our Bitcoin address here as well. Get rid of all of that. And we're also going to change in the passwords of both of these as well to something that you'll remember. And let's press save and restart. So now let's take a look at our stats again. And because it's just reset, we have a lower amount of hash rate, and it'll start ramping up and getting more and more efficient. It should be around 1.1, 1.2, depending on the efficiency of the chip and everything for one of these. So on Datam Gateway as well, let's go to the config again. We'll go to API and let's add a password. I'm just going to make it something really simple. All right, now let's launch this UI. Let's go to clients, paste in our listen port and our admin password, and now we can see our client list. This shows us we have a BitAxe connected. This right here shows that there's been shares that have been accepted by my miner. So this is 1. If it was 0, that would be a problem. This is my Bitcoin address that the block would go to if I happen to mine. How do you know if you've hit a block? Well, if you open up your Datam Gateway through your StartOS by launching UI and you see a shares accepted 1, that means you've hit a block. You should check your wallet because you're going to have a nice block value put into there. So this has been how to solo mine with a BitAxe at the current hash rate and the hash rate that one of these BitAxes gives you. You have basically a 1 in 6 million chance of hitting a block per day, which I believe it's like 14,000 years or something on average that you're going to hit one. Something crazy like that. Now, what's wild is somebody has hit a block with one of these, which would be really, really cool, but I don't expect to do that. And the other way that you could mine and still contribute to the mining network is through a mining pool, which means that you're pooling your hash rate with other miners that are all contributing hash rate. And if anybody hits a block within there, you get a portion of the payout. At least that's how Ocean does it. There are other pools that just pay you just based sort of a fixed amount. Ocean is my preferred pool. And in a future video, I will show you how to change some settings on here, and you'll actually be able to mine to a pool and earn steady income over the Lightning Network from mining your Bitcoin with a BitAxe or whatever other miners you might have. If you guys want to run your own node, I recommend checking out the other videos in this series on how to build a node out of a mini PC. I also have a 5% discount link to Start9, so you could just buy a plug and play node and start to run all this stuff. I'll throw some links in for the BitAxe as well, the one that I have. I don't have any sort of affiliate link or any discount links, unfortunately, for that, but I'll throw a link anyway. And if you guys want to book a one-on-one coaching session with me for anything technical, any Bitcoin security practices, anything like that, you can do so through the link in the description, and I'd be happy to help you with anything Bitcoin related. And there's also some links for hardware wallets, the BlockStream Jade. It's a great hardware wallet. Check it out, link below. 15% off the Stampseed titanium seed plate kit for preserving your seed phrase, and a bonus reward link for signing up to Bitcoin Well, which is a non-custodial exchange that I use to buy all my Bitcoin, and you can get free Bitcoin on sign up. So check that out. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Node series and all the other episodes of Bitcoin Not Crypto.